Thank you for stopping by the Hoarding Solution Podcast. Appreciate your time and being here and talking about some of these difficult issues that come up as our loved ones age. And today I want to talk about the fact that it can be very difficult to make the decision to place our loved one in a facility, whether it's a skilled nursing facility, assisted living, independent living, maybe just a fixed income apartment. Sometimes, if we're fortunate, we can help our loved one age in place. Often that cannot be done safely in a hoarded scenario, but there are ways to work on that. It just really depends on how severe is the hoarding, um, and what are the health needs and what are the mobility issues that your loved one might be facing. And today I want to talk a little bit about how beneficial it can be for your loved one to be in a different living situation. And in the situation I was dealing with, uh, my loved one made the decision to move to assisted living on their own. There were issues going on, severe hoarding. There were some rodent issues. There was heating issues and mobility and some cognitive things happening that were making life difficult for everyone, including the loved one with the hoarding issue. So here are some things that I don't have to worry about this fall, this winter, because my loved one is in a different living situation, a better, healthier situation. So I don't have to worry about falling down on the gravel with her using a walking stick. I don't have to worry about propane tanks and little buddy heaters being an issue, whether it's the fire risk, obviously, or if it's hooked up incorrectly. I don't have to worry about the meals part because basically it was either we could bring her a meal or she used a microwave. Um, she was afraid of the propane in her camper. And so I don't have to worry about that this year. I don't have to worry about the snow load on her camper, the ice and the falling. I don't have to worry about fires being set in inappropriate locations. And I don't have to worry about the variety of people that would regularly appear on our property to try and assist, but in many ways it was enable her to continue living in a very unsafe environment. It took a lot of calls and effort and emails and different things to actually get some things in motion that actually helped her move. And while it's been difficult, while there have been times when I wondered if we could have done things differently and different options were offered and not taken. And so I don't have to worry about finding a different camper, different housing. I don't have to worry about an apartment or the housing list, all the things that I was worrying about a year ago and trying to facilitate solutions. And now I don't have to do that. And that has freed up some of my mental bandwidth as well as physical worry and things that come along with worry that can physically impact you as a caregiver, as a monitor of a situation. And so this message really is for the people who are struggling with whether or not having your loved one that hoards live in a different situation. And really, Well, what I have discovered is often your person is going to dislike you, possibly hate you, no matter what you do. And so and that is difficult to deal with, but in the end, um, if they're going to be angry no matter what, then you have to look at what is the best outcome for them and what is the best outcome for you. And that's how you have to operate. And it really does come down to safety, quality of life, and doing the best you can in the situation you're in. So I just don't, I know we often feel guilt about it, but I don't necessarily think guilt is the answer. I think relief and awareness of how bad a loved one's situation can be, particularly in hoarding, is what drives us to help them make a different living choice. And I don't believe guilt should be part of that equation, even though I know it is. It's like the silent lurker out there. And often I will say people will not take any option presented to them because they do not think they have a problem. And denial is super common in hoarding situations. It's not always the case, but frequently there is a lot of denial for the person who has issues. And I understand wanting to age in place. I understand being on the property where you've lived for many years. I understand the desire to be where you want to be. I also understand that that is not always feasible. And sometimes we have to make difficult decisions for people who absolutely will not listen to any line of reason. So just understand that sometimes you have to make the best choice, even if it's the hardest choice. And a lot of times I believe it comes down to the hard right over the easy wrong. And that looks different for everyone in these situations. But know that you're not alone. Know that you have people who understand out here in the world and who also struggle with the same things you struggle with. So if that is you, I invite you to join us in the Hoarding Solution community, so that you can also be connected with people who understand the gravity as well as the freedom that comes when you've made a difficult choice. And when you see your loved one thriving in their new situation, um, being cared for and being assisted in ways that they would never allow you to do, it is a very heartwarming moment when you see that despite the challenges, they are thriving the best that they can in their new environment. So I'm not going to say it's ever going to be easy, but I can say that it's doable and that you can come out on the other side as knowing you did the best you could with what you had at the moment. So I wish you all a great week, and remember to care for yourself as you care for others. And again, thank you for stopping by the Hoarding Solution Podcast.